What up, man? It's your big brother K-Rino. I see y'all already in here waiting for me, man. Glad to be here with y'all. Um, let's get one in, man. Let's get one in. I don't plan to be on here long, but we'll see. This all depends on y'all. I'm not trying to be on here long, but it all depends on y'all. Do your big brother a favor as usual. Click that like button as you come into the room. That's that thumbs up icon. Click the like button for your big brother. If you ain't subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel and always have your notifications on. Now here's the deal too. If you don't get a notification from me, just check the channel every day because I try to drop a video at least once a day when I'm doing right. But just check the channel every day, man. I think if you do that, then you won't miss the videos. All right, man. Um, let's get it on. We'll do an open topic. I've been doing a lot of open topics lately because I've been having a lot of things that I would like to talk about, but I gotta kind of move in season. There's certain things I gotta hold my tongue on. I can't go too deep into to them like I might want to. But here's the deal. Some of y'all ain't clicked that like button either. Let's go head on and do some quick housekeeping. I want to talk about the album that I'm working on because I want to give y'all an update on the album. You know, Rakim got the greatest line in the world. Boy, I'll tell you what. Rakim got like 2 or 3 bars. No, I take that back. Rakim got about 5 bars throughout history that I wish I would have came up with first. But the great Rakim, the God himself, came up with those lines. I'll say that line at some point when I get to talking about the album. But in the meantime and in between time, man, y'all know the new comic book is out. We're gonna get these commercials out the way early. We'll do one in the beginning and one in the end. The new comic book is out. The Annihilation of the Evil Machine comic book is out. Annihilation of the Evil Machine. This is the box that it will come in if you order the whole box. You get this box. You get this whole box that comes with the comic book, coloring book, poster, and all kind of other little goodies on the inside. You can get this comic book and this whole bundle box if you want to purchase it. I will post the link right now so y'all can get it. The website so y'all can order it for those who haven't already or those who didn't know that it was even a comic book. Sometimes y'all don't even be knowing that I got stuff out because some of y'all might be on here last week that wasn't on this week or vice versa and versa the vice. But yeah, you go to Martial Arts Productions .space and that's arts with a Z, productions with a Z .space and you can order the book. And that's our second comic book. The first one was the Galactic Quest for the Mystic 10 volumes. And shout out to everybody who supported that. We would love to see y'all get that same support on this one. Okay, now, as for the album, my new album will be dropping soon. I'm very close. So a lot of people have been patiently waiting. Some people have been impatiently waiting because, in fairness, I have been pushing the album back because it's been a pretty busy year for your big brother. So I can't say I haven't had the time. I'm not going to tell that lie. But I've been having a lot of things going this year, like work-related, music-related stuff, a lot of shows, a lot of events and things of that nature. So sometimes it takes me away from the creative side of putting the album together. So it's like, oh man, I got to put the album together. So you're pushing it back, pushing it back, pushing it back. But the album is in the works. Don't get it twisted. There is an album. It's not a myth. It's not the Loch Ness Monster. It's actually coming. because y'all know me. But so that's that. The album is called The Industry, as y'all see down low, and it'll be available real soon. I promise you. Inshallah, the album will be coming. All right, man. Hey, Luke, hey, Sky Luke Walker, I appreciate that, man. Thank you, man. Because I work hard to give y'all not only good product, but a lot of it. So when I see that people have a problem with how long it's taking me to drop one album when I'm normally dropping a bunch of albums, man, I got more albums than the average rapper. See, a lot of people's favorite rappers, they take years in between a release. So you know how that goes. But let's get it on. Open topic, man. Sky Luke says, I have 2 of your 50 limited releases on the last and didn't know. Man, appreciate the love. Letitia, third eye, point of view. She said, I hit the like button. That's what I'm talking about. Appreciate that, Letitia. Walaikum salam, brother Chris. I see you. Jamal Henderson up in this thing. Charles Schuler. Connie. What's up, Connie? L Dogs in the building. Mike Cullen. OG Mike Cullen is in the building. Yeah. Okay, let's go. Ooh, hold on, L. L Dog say, because they say that miracles never cease. I created a devastating masterpiece. They don't know what that is. They don't know. They don't know where that came from, man. Come on, man. That's what I'm talking about. All right, man. It's open topic. So, any questions? Anything y'all want me to expound upon? We'll get into it. As I always say, if I know the answer, if I think I know the answer, I'll give it. If I don't, then I won't. As y'all may or may not know, I play basketball pretty regular. I play basketball on a regular basis, man, at least 3 or 4 times a week. And sometimes while I'm out there on the basketball court, I tend to suffer injuries. I'm dealing with another one right now, man. I took a real weird shot last week, man, and my arm has been jacked up. This is my shooting arm. It's my writing arm. It's my punching arm. So yeah, so I'm in a little pain right now. Miss Lady Sample says, when it's time, we'll get it. Quit asking if we're there yet every 5 minutes. Woohoo! Wait! Come on, Miss Lady Sample. See, that's motherly wisdom. You know something that my grandmother told me when I was a little boy? When I was a little boy, um, we used to make uh, grits, cream of wheat. Sometimes my grandmother would make hard-boiled eggs. And so you know if it's anything like grits, cream of wheat, boiled eggs, you know you got to let the water boil. And I used to be so impatient that I would always keep running over to the pot and like, man, what's taking so long? When the water gonna... And my grandmother said she these was her words. She said, a watch pot never boils. She said a watch pot never boils. In other words, put the water on the stove, turn the fire on, and go on about your business. Come back about 10, 12 minutes, the water will be boiling. But if you keep running in there every 5 seconds, it seemingly takes forever for the water to boil. So the water's boiling, man. Is that exit 703? I would knock you going further. Z34 Mo, you are peerless in your work ethic. We are right if we got away. Thank you. Can y'all? What's up, Jimmy? It's it's head scratching, man. I don't like to go back in the time like that, man. But sometimes I got to, man. Look, and I hate to keep doing this, but I've done this before. I got to do it again, bro. I gave y'all 7 in one day. Nobody that I know of ever did that. Then 2 years later, I gave you 4 in one day. Then on average, I'm dropping 2 or 3 a year. And this has been going on for almost 2 decades by drop rate. And because I'm taking a little longer for 1 year, man, boy, it reminds me of it's a principle in my head, but I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it. All right, let's get it on, y'all. All right. Jimmy says your catalog is like an all-you-can-eat buffet. I appreciate that, Jimmy. That's the goal. Got more food coming. Popcorn, I see you. Yeah, it's jacked up popcorn. It's like, you know how you hit your funny bone and you get that tingling and your arm go numb. I hit like, it was like the shot I took is like, it was like hitting your funny bone times 20, and the tingling, just my whole arm was just numb. And then when it came back, I got the feeling back, but the pain is still there. So I don't know what's going on, man. I don't know what's going on, but it is what it is. I will go into the recesses of my mind and self-heal at some point. Mr. Urban World, that's right. Where you been? Where you been, Mr. Urban World? You must have been traveling all around the urban world. Yeah, my grandmama was great. Appreciate that. Scott Luke, do you listen to Dr. Neil Tyson? Yeah, I'm a fan of Neil deGrasse Tyson. Yeah, I'm a fan of his. I listen to him pretty often. Not every day, but I listen to him pretty often. I'm familiar with him. I've learned a lot from him. Absolutely. Yeah. Phantom Face, you better not say it. I'm not gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it. Usually when I say I ain't gonna say it, I end up saying it, but I ain't gonna say it. I ain't gonna say it, Phantom Face. Is that Zuckzun pick? Say your voice is reaching us all the way in rural Australia. Thank you for your efforts. Hey, thank you for the support. Much love to everybody in Australia. I appreciate that love. Make sure y'all support the project when it drops, man. Again, man, I'm emphasizing this to y'all. Oh, my bad. I'm emphasizing this to y'all, man. When the album drops, support and buy physical copies. Get it on the streaming. Go to Spotify. Do your Spotify. Do your, what else the other ones? do your Amazon, do your whatever the streaming, do all of them, but purchase a physical copy. I just put my email address in the thing. Every week I say, hey man, y'all hit me up to be on the mailing list, and I only get maybe one or two people that send me an email. So that makes me feel like y'all ain't really, gonna get down. But I put my email down there anyway. If you want to be on the contact list so you'll know when the album drops and you can order it. There it is. Yep. Yeah, I understand that, Connie. I appreciate that. I appreciate the love. I love the love, but be patient with me, y'all. Not you, Connie. I appreciate it. They'll stop you from making a living for this in the system. Ooh, yeah, that's absolutely right. That's absolutely right. So you better not say it. Brother Chris said you can't rush greatness. Man, look, greatness, I don't know if it's greatness. It's just gonna be depending on how y'all feel. I don't make that determination, but I like to make sure that I give it to y'all in full capacity. I ain't gonna never give y'all no trash. Yeah. Yeah, I watch the Star Talks. I like I said, I check out Chuck Nice and Dr. Neil all the time. Is he Dr. Neil? Or is it just Neil deGrasse Tyson? Is he a doctor? Is an astrophysicist a doc? Do they have a doctor in front of their name? That's an interesting thing. Jay Fresh B says, "Hope your arm is feeling better." So I appreciate that, Jay Fresh. I'll be fine. I'm always doing something, man. Man, always injuring myself, man. I'm gonna be all right. I'm fine. Trust me, I'll be fine. Yeah. Cross D Columinarly. Hey OG, what are your opinions on psychedelics, especially ones that come from the earth like shroom? I'm not into that. I'm not into the psychedelics. I'm not into the mind altering. I don't do any type of drugs. I don't do any of that stuff. But yeah, it's not my thing. A lot of people have tried to um, tell me about the benefits of shrooms, and I don't. That's just not my thing. I'm not gonna alter my natural state of mind, and I'm not gonna do that. That's just me. Chris Dell, I see you. J. Eric Tendine, what's going on? I see you. Y'all subscribe to the channel, man. And if you're just coming in, click the thumbs up. Grid says, strive for greatness. That's when you know you're giving it your all. Come on with the wisdom. If you try your very best in everything you do, you give 110% in everything you do, then you're going to, more times than not, you're going to be the best version of yourself. Just do your best. It may not mean you'll win every time. It may not mean you'll just uh, get the ultimate prize every time, but the effort will be appreciated. You will put out a good output in whatever it is you're doing just by giving your best, man. Yeah. Blaster 9MM. Hey, big bro, it's Christian. I've been thinking of that new album cover art. What's going on, Christian? Man, I haven't even started on the cover. I'm getting ready to start working on the cover this week, next week. I need the right cover. I got the vision in my mind already. Y'all know my arm is hurting, so I'm trying to rotate it, keep it circulating. Turmeric is wonderful for body inflammation. Yeah, no doubt. I cook with it every day. I need to get some more though. Good looking out. Danny Boy, what's up? Yeah. DJ Magic Music. Just want to say, love what you do. Appreciate that, man. Don't be no stranger, y'all. I'm seeing a lot of new faces in here. I appreciate y'all. Don't be a stranger, though. We here every Friday, and I post videos every day. Oh, another aspect of housekeeping I want to hit y'all with right now, man. The latest episode of the Underground Dialogue podcast dropped Wednesday. If y'all are in here and did not know about the Underground Dialogue podcast, this is your opportunity to go subscribe to that channel and catch up on all of the interviews that we've done. It's going to take you a while because we've been doing it about 2 years, but the latest episode with this dope female rapper from Houston named Raw LT, like royalty, but Raw LT. Y'all need to go watch that interview and all the ones prior to that. Make sure y'all go check us out. Sky Luke says, "Where's the OG salute tonight?" I mean, we gotta wait for one of the legends to come in. We ought to do the OG salute. Did I miss somebody? Who came in? We ought to do the OG salute when one of the legends come in. We never know who's gonna show up on my live stream. I mean, and that's just literally. You never know who's gonna show up, man. You never know, man. Morgan Freeman might pop in the chat. Who knows? Oh man, I don't know. Jim Carrey might show up. We don't know who's gonna come in. Bruh man from the fifth floor might show up. You never know who might show up in my live streams, man. But when OGs come in like that, that's when we give the OG salute. We don't just throw OG salutes around all willy-nilly like that. Yeah. Lando says, "Don't sleep on the podcast." That's right. Y'all go watch. Look, and see, here's the thing. I'm a big believer in consistency. That's why I give y'all so much music. And that's why I try to drop videos every day. But also, that's why we have a set day of the week and time that our podcast airs every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Houston time. That's Central Time. The show will come on. The podcast comes on. That way, y'all ain't got to. You just think about it like your favorite TV show. Every Wednesday at 9. If y'all don't talk to me, y'all ain't been online. Every Wednesday at 9 p.m. Central. That means if you in New York, on the East Coast anywhere, it's 10 p.m. If you're on the West Coast, that means it's 7 p.m. But if you're in the Central Time Zone, Chicago, anywhere up in that Central Time Zone, down south, 9 p.m., man. That's y'all homework. Go watch the latest episode tonight. Learn something about artists that y'all are not really familiar with. Connie says, "I saw that interview with Raw LT. I didn't know her, but I definitely..." You see what I'm saying? See, Connie gets it. It ain't always about just the known people, the celebrities and stuff. We have celebrities on our show. We have famous people on our show from time to time, man. God has blessed us with some big name people to come through from time to time. But most of the time it's going to be an education on artists who have rich, deep histories in the game or in other fields. It ain't just about rappers. And you get a chance to really learn. We got to stop chasing just only after the big names. Shout out to Mr. Farrakhan for instilling that. Yeah. It's that Trevin 7. We got to come together. If we don't, we ain't got no business complaining. I know that's right. It's funny how the things that we take issue with and we complain about and we have a problem with that we don't do, they're really not beneficial to us. But the one thing that is absolutely paramount to our success is unity. Marty Marr, let them know who you are. What's up, my brother? Good looking out tonight, Marty Marr. Marty Marr got my back, man. He was like, man, what's going on? What's up with this? We ain't gonna tell y'all what it was about, but he was like, what's up with this? That's when you know somebody got your back. They looking at stuff even when you ain't around, like, hold on, man, what's up? What's up? You know. Evan Almighty says, I did a track with Q-Boy the Menace last week. Q-Boy the Menace, or as I call him, Menace the Q-Boy. Q-Boy, one of our dope SPC artists, Shadow Mob. Shout out to Shadow Mob, man. Okay, I know if you got down with Q-Boy, I know you all came up with something dope. Q-Boy always been dope, always been very creative. Yeah. Jimmy says, famous people are just people like us. Exactly. But for some reason, which I'm not knocking it, of course, if there's somebody that you know and that you see that they're being interviewed, you may be interested to see what they're talking about. That's absolute. I'm saying, but as well, and I know you can't do it with everybody, but I'm saying if you support our platform, you're gonna see people that you may not know or may not have heard of, but I can guarantee you, if you just take the time to sit down and watch the interview, you're gonna get caught up in it. Like, okay, yeah, I didn't know, because the 6 degrees of separation aspect of things will kick in, meaning that you may not know who this artist is, but a lot of people we bring on our show, they've worked with people that you know. They work with big time artists. They work with famous people. They work with people who been deep in the game. So those are the types of things that that you got to know. You got to say, okay, well, I didn't know that she worked with this person. I didn't know that she did this, or she was affiliated with this label or this group. Or it's how you find out. Yeah. Yes, indeed. Jay Menzino, what's going on? Y'all click that like button as you come in. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Yep. This is an open topic. Connie said, I trust you, and that's why I show up to learn about the people you know. Man, and look, it's certain people that's on that every week. Now, I know some of y'all may not comment, you know, in the chat like we doing tonight as y'all watching the interview. Some people just watch and then they just kind of lay in the cut. But Connie and my brother, South Park Coalition 2G brother, JD, and who else? I should have started mentioning names because I forgot. But they always comment, you know. They always make comments, and it's good for the engagement of the actual interview, you know. So it's dope, man. Zuck Sun Pick, brother, you talk at all with KRS-One? No, I don't. I don't talk to KRS-One. I've been around him recently. The last couple of times he came to Houston, we interviewed him on the podcast. Y'all don't watch the podcast with some of y'all. We interviewed KRS-One on the Underground Dialogue podcast. Now, granted, the sound wasn't that great because we was interviewing him in this loud club, and we didn't have our setup like we got now to go on location. You know, if we'd had it like we got it now, it'd been a better audio. But that is a interview of KRS-One on the Underground Dialogue podcast. So you got to go check us out. You got to go check us out. Yeah. Peace and love, Miss Lady Sample. Alberto, what's going on, man? Ambit, what's that? Ambitious Rick? What's going on? Ambitious Rick. I see you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, Rick. Connie says the brother from Hawaii. Yeah, Vincent. Yeah, every week. Every week. I knew I was forgetting some names. It's other people that always show up every week, man. You know, and engage as the interview is going along. We appreciate that. You know, all our communities are small, but we appreciate. We can't worry about who ain't here. We gotta love who is. Plain and simple. Phantom Face says, I try to check you, bro. I work too much to fully participate. No, but see, that's the thing. That's fine because, hey, man, bills is bills. But that's to everybody. And on your own time. You may not catch it right there when it drops, but later on that night or the next day, just catch it within the week. That's all I ask from everybody. Just within the week, catch the episode. That's all. Trust me, I understand. Jay the Flow says, I made it. It's 1 a.m. I watched the KRS interview. I usually catch up in time. See what I'm saying? Appreciate that, Jay. We're going to get KRS back, too. We're going to get him to come to the building next time. We can really sit down and chop it up with him. Yeah. Sky Luke says, I have been spending a lot of time watching and learning about First Amendment activism, constitutional rights, and expressing those rights. Yeah, because First Amendment rights are slowly being stripped from the American people. You know, for some people, for black folks, I would say the First Amendment was never none of the Constitution was really written for us anyway. It was written about us in certain parts, but but as a whole, First Amendment rights are under attack. First Amendment rights being the right to have freedom of speech and things of that nature. And, man, Connie says you ask great questions. You allow your guests to speak, and it makes it very man. That's the first thing I learned. Shout out to brother Russell Muhammad. That's the first thing I learned when I started doing the radio show. If y'all want to see a lot of our old radio show, K-Rino radio interviews, they're on this channel. But one of the first things I was taught by brother Russell Muhammad, brother Russell said, look, when you start this radio thing, he say, don't be one of those interviewers that talk more than your guests. He said, let your guests talk. You're gonna get in there. I get in, sometimes I get in, I'm gonna say what I say, but for the most part, you gotta let your guests talk. It's very annoying when I watch interviews and I'm really interested in the person that's being interviewed and the person that's asking the question, he talking more than the person that he interviewing, over talking him, asking the question, then answering it. I'm there every week. So I don't have to talk and talk and talk and talk. There's a lot of times that I may ask a question that I do already know the answer to or that I may have an opinion on, but it's not about me. I'm asking that question to our guests to get their view on it. So I appreciate that observation. That's something that I'm working on to get better at. Man. Trevin says we're running out of time to those who can hear love. God loves all. Mike Cullen says, long story short, your whole life on government paper is blackmail. Man. Okay, I went backwards. Appreciate the love. Say I'm hooked. I'll go back. I'll go out I'll go check out all those interviews. Now that I found you, I'm a newbie to your channel. Well, don't be a stranger. If you come consistent, you won't be a newbie much longer. You'll be an OG in no time. Yeah. Chris Dale says she's good. Yeah, she's really good. Really good. Mm-hmm. Connie says instead of an interview, it feels like two friends just sitting around talking to each other, allowing us to peek in on y'all's conversation. Yeah, especially when I bring some of the homies up there. If I got any of my people up there, it's just a conversation. But I try to make it like that with everybody. You know. Much love, Mike. No doubt. Phantom Face says, I agree, bro. Some interviews don't understand they have more ears than mouth. they be want they want to ask the question and answer it. They don't want to let the other person finish talking because they got something else to say. And it makes it frustrating for me when I watch the interview. I hate when I do it. When I watch the interviews that we do, and I feel like I'm talking too much or going, yeah, okay, yeah. I'm like, man, I cringe when I do that. I'm trying to improve my craft. Yeah. Alberto says Erica Badu said that once she puts a song out, then it no longer belongs to her. How do you feel about that statement? I understand what she means. And to a degree, I get it. But I would not say that it no longer belongs to me. I would say that once I put a song out, I'm now sharing it. Me and the people that the song reaches, we now have joint custody of the song. That's what I'll say. Because if I wrote the song, it's a part of me. And if it's a song where the concept is connected to some real life stuff, and sometimes you may write a song that's reflective of you, of your mind, of things that you've been through, of things that you're going through, that song would never be disconnected from you. So I'm granting you joint custody of the song. We're now co-parenting the song, but I can't say that it doesn't belong to me anymore, because I'm still gonna listen to the song from time to time. I'm still gonna perform the song. Because think about this. If I say that the song don't belong to me no more, right? Then I do a show and I perform the song. That is the most interactive and fusing moment of the actual song. To me, that's the culmination. That's the moment. The first moment in terms of me and the people is when the song is released and y'all hear it. I put the song out, y'all hear it, but I'm not hearing or seeing y'all's reaction when I release the record, because I'm way over where I am. You way in freaking Minnesota and Alaska and Germany and Utah and Mississippi and Atlanta, Georgia. So you somewhere in a whole other space at different times of the day listening to that song. I don't get that. I don't get that enjoyment of seeing your enjoyment. But when I perform the song, now we all together. You in the audience, I'm on the stage. If you know the words, you singing it back. We fuse together now. I can't say the song don't belong to me no more. So much as I love Erykah Badu, I disagree with that. The song does belong to me, but I'm sharing it with y'all. It belongs to y'all too. But that was an interesting uh, concept, though. What's my favorite lunch? I don't eat lunch. I try to eat one meal a day, and that's dinner. Might eat a snack, though. I ain't gonna lie. Might, I will. But I don't eat lunch. I can't even eat in the daytime like that. My body, I've been going so long like this, my body is not even set up to want food. Like people eat breakfast. First of all, I'll be sleep. I don't do mornings at all. But around lunchtime and all that, if I am woke, I'm not hungry. I don't get hungry till later on in the day. Yeah. Trevin, I'm not gonna never stop doing. I'm gonna do it till I can't do it. And even then I'm gonna do it. Chris Dale says it's a wild society, bro. Jay Menzino, love your song Hidden Agenda. I appreciate that. Appreciate it, Phantom Face. I'm gonna keep it rolling. No question, Connie. I'm learning this game. I'm still a rookie. I'm learning though. Yeah. Mike says, don't be the animal at the zoo. Man, woman, or child. That really pisses them off. Uh-oh. Chris B, what's going on? Grid says D'Angelo passed not long ago. Thoughts on his impact and legacy? Gone too soon. That's the first thing you think about. Um, Grateful that he had a good, about two and a half, 3 decades in the game to give the world a lot of music. Um, Legacy set. He has classic, legendary songs that people are going to always remember and sing. Um, had his own unique sound and style. Just gone too soon, young man. Young man. Vincent, what's up? I see you. JD, I say your name and you appear. Jada Flow says, I always tried to pay for songs like through Bandcamp and expressing my sincere gratitude because it's a blessing to be a listener. I never thought about being its owner. Yeah, but I want you to always be sure to for y'all to always do your best outside of your streaming platforms to get the music from me. Get physical copies from me. I put my email down in the box again. So if y'all want to get on the contact list, all of y'all, all 48 of y'all that are in here, if you haven't already, send me an email if you would like to be on the contact list, so you'll know when the new projects are coming out, when the new shows are coming out. This is second commercial of the night. We got one more after this. The new comic book is available to order right now. The Annihilation of the Evil Machine comic book. It's available to order right now. Yep, there it is. Annihilation of the Evil Machine. Bang. It'll come in this box with a comic book, coloring book, and other items. So yeah, those of y'all who are just coming on and y'all didn't know I had mentioned this early or that we even did it. There's a website, martial arts productions.space, if you want to order the comic book. Um, Austin, Texas. I don't see none of my Austin, Texas people in here, but Austin, Texas, we will be in the city of Austin, Texas, December the 13th. South Park Coalition will be performing live in Austin, Texas. We'll have more details coming up this week. I forgot about that one. All right. Y'all click that like button, man. Mike Cullen says the creator of everything is God. Everything else is basic argument. I agree. Sky Luke says I paid attention to the science of one meal a day. Yeah, everybody's starting to get on it now. They not giving credit to where it's due. They not giving an Honorable Elijah Muhammad his credit, but they remixing it. But hey, whatever gets you to it, that's fine. Whatever gets you to it. Yeah. All right. Open topic, y'all. Black Noah 1. What's going on? Checking in from Birmingham, Alabama. K. You and KRS are my two favorites of all time. Hey man, I'm glad to be in that company because KRS is my favorite of all time. So I'm glad to be in that company. I appreciate that. That's a compliment to me. P4 Int. I know I'm saying that name wrong. You say good morning. Yeah, it is good morning though. Yeah. Man. What is my best stress reliever? Probably playing basketball. Believe it or not. Even though sometimes you be on the court arguing and fussing, it's a good stress reliever. Exercise is always the best stress reliever, or one of. Yeah. Blessings, Jay Menzino. Michael Butte is in the building, man. My brother from another. Jay the Flow says almost a month ago, Piece of Freestyle Fellowship passed. And it made me think about time and all my favorite artists. Man, blessings. Gary King, what's going on? Gary King in the building. There you go. I just dropped the website to order the comic book, y'all. Austin, Texas, we coming next month. We'll have the flyer and all the information up real soon. Yeah. P4 says my mom absolutely loves your merch. Oh, shout out to mom. Salute. We got more coming. Marty Moss says, if I don't eat all of my food in one sitting and come back to it, is that still considered as eating one meal per day? I have a habit of that. Yeah, it's considered anytime you activate your digestive system. So just say uh, you eat at 6 p.m., but you only eat half your food. Then by 9:30 that night, you come back and eat the other half of that food. Even though it came from the same meal, it's still split up. It's into two meals because you reactivate. Your stomach don't know, don't think to say, well, this is the same meal, so it still counts as the one. You're still eating twice. You're activating your system and working your stomach two times, you know. So, but that's the same with anything. The same like if I eat a snack, it's the same thing. So the discipline comes to be able to eat at one time and then don't eat nothing else. Don't activate your system no more for the next 24 hours. EVM, I'm so excited for the t-shirt in the box. Yeah, they come with a t-shirt too, huh? I forgot. I always remember this. That's what I was forgetting. Yeah. So you already got it? I ain't know. I ain't talked to Dollar. I ain't know we were shipping them out already. Or you ordered the green one. Gary says, "Do you follow any other podcasts like Brother Sanchez?" I don't. I'm not familiar with Brother Sanchez, but yeah, it's a lot of podcasts I check out randomly though. I couldn't just think of just like, oh, I'll make sure I always watch this. I'll make sure I always watch it. But I randomly catch several podcasts. Yeah. Yah's poet, Yahoo, the poetic word, 7322. Shouts out from Kentucky. Just stopping by to say hi and loving the new music. Appreciate that. The new music is coming. Check it out, y'all. I'm gonna keep doing this because I want y'all to be on this contact list. That's my email address, y'all. Send me an email so I can send you the information when the album is ready to order. I want y'all to order these physical copies, man. JD said Raw LT Underground Dialogue Podcast. Yeah, we just got through talking about JD. I just got through shouting you out because JD is there every week checking out the show, man. Got a chance to check out the show. If y'all haven't checked out the Underground Dialogue Podcast latest episode this week with Raw LT, y'all go show some support. Chris B, do you celebrate Thanksgiving with your loved ones? I don't celebrate any of the holidays, but that doesn't stop me from being around family because the reality is that sometimes those are the only days where all the family gets together or whatever family you got gets together. So in that regard, yeah, you'll find me with my family on those days, but it's more so to be around my family because I don't celebrate the days, the concept of the days, the history of those days. I'm in no way, I have no affiliation, no celebration of that. But I'm gonna eat. Yeah, it's a good question. I've never heard of Brother Sanchez. I've never heard of Brother Sanchez. What is he? I mean, I'll check him out. I'll check him out. Brother Chris says some of Yaqub's children are now openly admitting that all human beings come from the original Asiatic black man, God. Well, yeah, sometimes they will admit the truth. They will admit the truth. And the weird part about it is sometimes black folks don't accept or believe in the truth till they hear white folks say it. You can hear a black man, they can hear Donald Elijah Muhammad talking about these things for 99 years, and they'll reject it and reject it and reject it until a white professor or white scholar or white um, theologian comes along, and then they say it, now everybody starts. It's the same with fasting. How long Donald Elijah Muhammad and Mr. Farrakhan been teaching how to eat to live and the benefits of fasting and all that. And then you got these magazines that come out and these new nutritionists that come along and they start talking about intermittent fasting. They remix the name of it and all that. And all it is in a lot of cases, it's the same or close to the same principle of how to eat to live, eating one meal a day and all that. And then they try to change up and take credit for it. And then you see everybody starting to do it and talking about this new new thing that everybody, there ain't no new thing. The message have been teaching that. Yeah. Greer says that's the part that matters, just being around loved ones. I mean, yeah. I ain't I know who the Pilgrims was. I know what they did to the Native Americans. When they came over to this land and they were sick and diseased and barely hanging on and struggling, and then the Native Americans took them in and nursed them back to health, and then they slaughtered the Native Americans. They gave them blankets with smallpox on them. So what is the Thanksgiving? Who's giving the thanks and why? See, we got to know history. We just take things, we just take whatever they say, and we just, okay, that's what it is. Joseph Joey Romar, what's going on? Is that my Sean Montgomery? Said it's time, brother. Michael says, but fix your big brother a plate of vegetables and fish. Hey, come on with it. What kind of fish you got though? See, Alyssa says she didn't get a notification. And see, that's what I'm saying, y'all. Sometimes YouTube be playing games. So that's why I say don't just depend on YouTube to notify y'all. Check my channel every day and you'll probably see a new video that I did. But as far as my live streams, pretty much every Friday. Only problem is I come on at different times, so you just gotta check. Trevin says, how did you find the ability to produce your music that moves millions of us today? God is great. God, I'm thankful for the gift that He gave me, and whatever it is instilled in me that makes y'all make those who love it love it. I say all praise is due to Allah. I thank God for it. That's all I can say. You know, I wish it was millions. I appreciate your generosity. You say music that moves millions of us. I wish it was moving millions of y'all. I'd say a couple of thousand of y'all. I don't have millions of people on my team. Yeah. Alyssa says your homie George Washington, he slew Indians too. Anybody who came on this land slaughtered the Indians. All of the Europeans that came over here, Christopher Columbus. You got to read some of Christopher Columbus' writings of how he felt, things he said about the Native Americans. The British, like I said, who came over here and ended up being Americans. Yeah, they all took a hand in killing the Indians, and then all the way up into, I would say, I won't say the modern times, but you go to the 1800s when they were having the wars against the Indians because the white man was trying to take the land that had belonged to the Native Americans all this time. I didn't mean to call them Indians because they were not Indians. That's another thing that's so crazy. Columbus was calling them Indians because that's where he was trying to go. When he got over here, he thought he was in India. But when they were having the war against the Native Americans and they were trying to steal all the land, which they eventually ended up doing, they killed the Indians off. One of the ways that they were able to effectively destroy the Indians or take control of the Indians is that they killed off all the buffalo. So when they killed off all the buffalo, the Indians' main source of life, that was like the lifeline of the Native Americans, was the buffalo. The Native Americans used every part of the buffalo, from the hide to keep themselves warm, from the meat to eat, the the little tusk things. They used every part of the buffalo. So that was like the main, that was like the economy. And they slaughtered millions, they killed off millions of buffalo, and that dried the Indians up. That took away the Indians' lifeline. That's an evil, evil act. Connie, you only get one notification per week? Wow. Know why YouTube doing me like that? Jay says, I celebrate some holidays, but I'm from a broken home, so Christmas spirit, so to speak, helps ease everyone's mind, and we can be together. But see, you don't have to use that. You don't have to just use that day called Christmas for everybody to be together. Y'all can just call each other up and say, hey, let's hang out. Let's have a get together. It could be June the 4th, you know. Michael, indigenous peoples of the land. Absolutely. Antonio says, what about them Buffalo Soldiers going against their own? When you say Buffalo Soldiers, they talk about the black man, you know. I don't know. I don't speak on things that I've never heard of. I'm not saying you wrong, but if I've never seen that history, I don't speak on it. Connie says, I look for you and sometimes I can still see it, but I never did get the notification. Yeah, but that's what you got to do. She say, for a while, it was the same thing happening with Willie D. Yeah, I mean, it's like people will say, people will say, well, you know, that happens to everybody. It probably does, you know, like YouTube doesn't get everybody. If you got this amount of subscribers, YouTube ain't gonna be able to get to everybody. Everybody gonna get the notification, but it's too big of a disparity based on how many subscribers you got compared to how many people don't get the notification. That's just my opinion. Is that Juglands? What's going on? What's going on? Trevor says, you have no idea how many people listen to your music and are inspired. I appreciate that. I'd like for them to purchase it too, though. I appreciate being inspired and listening. I need y'all to go buy it. No tilapia. We just got through having that same conversation yesterday. I was having a conversation with one of the homies about tilapia. When tilapia first came out, everybody was eating tilapia. We all thought, ooh, tilapia, tilapia. Then we found out it was a dirty fish. We had to learn. Yeah. What's 3,000 miles away, Chris Dale? What's 3,000 miles away? Mythical says, what's your favorite video game? I ain't been in the video game space in a long time, but man, my favorite game back in the days. Well, I guess you know what my favorite video game. I got to go back to the arcade days. Probably Galaga, something like that. Miss Pac-Man or something like that. I'm old school, y'all, so don't laugh. Don't laugh. Yep. Phantom Face said they did them filthy. Absolutely. Even to this day. But they did everybody filthy. They did us filthy. Hmm. Michael says all the holy holidays are in the Bible, but Pastor Porkchop won't tell you what they are. He will tell you the pagan holidays, though. Yeah, that's the money makers. The money making holidays, boy. Them's the ones that get the promotion and the marketing. Yeah. Jimmy says I always get the notification. Yeah, I figure some people do, but you know how they do. Marto says, who do you think would win a versus out of Juvenile and Mystical? Um, we'll never see it. That's number one. But I got love for Mystical, but I would have to go with Juvie on that. I would like to see Mystical been free for the one they just did, man. I think it would have really been up. It was good as it was, but if Mystical was out or if Wayne was there on the Cash Money side with Turk, it'd have been up. If everybody had all their pieces, oh man, it'd have been up. But I still enjoyed it though. Yeah. I never was into Zelda, Antonio. I remember that game, but I never played Zelda not one time. Yeah. Here you go, Joseph. Bang. There you go. Yeah, I never played chess. People always say, man, you don't play chess? I don't play chess. I got homies that do. Unless it said Juvie told you to vax that thing up. I mean, hey, they don't got nothing to do with his music. it wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered. My favorite person in the world could have told me to do it. I wasn't gonna do it. My minister told me not to do it. That's all I needed to hear. Well, I wouldn't have done it no way. Yeah. Mythical says, is it wise to even vote anymore? Politics is a circus. I don't think it's wise to vote on a national level. Now, when you talk about local elections, things that are closely centered to where you can actually touch people that you can actually communicate with, you can actually go to a town hall meeting or you can go to city hall or you can actually be hands-on kind of with and you can affect change or like that's cool. But on a national level, for presidents and stuff, do you see this circus? No. And it's a whole lot of black people that will just bring down the wrath of bring down an avalanche on you when you start saying that you shouldn't vote or we crazy to vote, you know. And I don't want to be insulting to nobody. I'm not. If you still believe in that process, that's you. I just dropped a video yesterday saying that um, trusting trusting the government is a mental illness. And the reason I said that was because when when you hear people always talk about the definition of insanity. So in being insane is a mental illness. So if the definition of insanity, as they say, is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result, that is voting in a nutshell in the national elections. If you're old enough to have lived through 4, 5, 6 presidents, if you're old enough to have lived through 3 or 4 presidents, and regardless of what side of the coin that you sit on, I just don't believe it effectively makes a difference for you if you are down on the level that we're down on. If you are in that high bracket where those where those policies benefit those who are more financially well off, then you might say, hey, well, I'm seeing the benefits. But down on the ground, our lives are not changing dramatically for the better because of a vote for a Democrat or a Republican candidate. Because no matter who's been in there, I can tell you as a black man, we catch hell under both of them. So people get to talk about, well, under this particular party, we've received the most advancement. Man, miss me with all that. That ain't what I'm talking about. Because if you can talk about a law that got passed here, this got passed there, okay, cool. But black folks still getting locked up at a disproportionate rate, still getting brutalized by the police, still being disenfranchised and mistreated in terms of just equality. Nah, man, miss me on that. Poor white people, Hispanic people, everybody suffering if you down on this level. So here they come around 4 years from now telling you this is the guy that's gonna get it done. Vote for him, vote for this person, this party, both parties blaming the other party for everything they do wrong. It's a circus, it's a joke, man. But we are getting into it with coworkers and family members behind these candidates who don't care nothing about you or your best interests, or your well-being, or your family's well-being. Let's keep it a bow wow, bro. It's reality. We foolish. But if that's what you want to do, I'm not knocking you, but I am questioning your sanity a little bit. Man, our ancestors died. They died for us to be able to. You're supposed to go out there because your ancestors died. Yeah, our ancestors also died just because they was trying to live and exist. It's a bunch of reasons why our ancestors died. So if they died for the right to be able to vote, then they died for the right to decide if they want to hold their vote, not vote. They died for the right to make the choice to say, well, nah, this ain't for me. But falling for that crap, they died. My ancestors died for the right. Y'all are disrespecting. That's the stupidest thing in the world to me. I gonna get in trouble. That's the stupidest thing in the world to me. When somebody tell me our people died, so if you're not voting, don't matter. It don't matter if the candidates are trash. Just go vote anyway because our ancestors died. That ain't why they died. So the only thing our ancestors died for was to be able to have the right to vote. No, I'm saying on the whole, part of the struggle. Yeah, well, let's focus on the parts of the struggle that made sense to die for. Now, I'm not disrespecting the ancestors because in their minds, they fighting for that right. They felt like that was something that would advance us, that would level the playing field and give us an opportunity, because we kind of still had some of us that believed that the system would work for us, that it was our system. It's never been our system. So now fast forward years and years later, decades and decades later, we still ain't figured that out yet. Because all you got to do is get on social media and see folks arguing back and forth, even to this day, even after the election, even after one of them done won, you're going to still see people arguing back and forth. Democrat, Republican, Democrat, Republican. My guy, your guy. My guy, your guy. Your guy did this. That's why the country's messed up. Nope, your guy did this. That's why the country's messed up. Truth of the matter is, they all messed it up. Going all the way back to the first one. Come on, man. Wasting. Shut up. Leo, what's going on, my brother? I always got to show love to my homie, Bondi Leo. That's who I was rolling with when I was in Sydney, Australia, y'all. When I was in Sydney, y'all see that name on the screen? We ought to give him an OG salute. Y'all see that name, Bondi Leo? When I was in Sydney, that's who I was with. That's who I was rolling with. My homie, Leo, from way back. Took us to that pretty beach, Bondi Beach, with that pretty blue water. Hey, Leo, you remember when we was out there on the strip and that dude was out there playing them drums and I started freestyling? On the street, he was playing his I think he was playing his bongos on the street, I think. Something like that. He was doing something, he was a street performer. And I got on the mic and started freestyling. Cash Blast Camp says divide and conquer. No question. Michael says it's a lot of puppet masters, gatekeepers that's in control of all the equations. No question. Cesar Ortega says, we're going to fix what we created. Trust us, we good people. Vince from Texas says, everyone is living in a simulation anyway. Explain that. I hear people say that all the time. I was about to write a song called Simulation one time. I may still do it, but I say, you know what, I got to prime my mind up the right way. Michael says presidential candidates are pre-selected, but they have to get the people involved so it won't look like it's just the obvious. Yeah, I heard the minister say that one time. He said that the candidates are not elected, they're selected. There is government that you see, and there's a shadow government that you don't see. President ain't calling shots like we're made to believe that they call it. Massini Troy says no matter who you vote for, the most based person will win. It's rigged. But know how you think. Chris Dale said Muslims told me they going liberal. What Muslims? Michelle Wood says will never vote ever. I don't blame you. Now, don't get me wrong now. I'm not necessarily talking about local elections. You got somebody running for city council, somebody that can affect change directly in a community. There are things that may be needed in a particular community that these people can actively make happen or get the ball rolling, and you feel like, hey, yeah, I think I can trust that person. Or, you know, they sounding good. Yeah, do your thing. But that national stuff, don't be fooled, man. Dollar bill, y'all. Dollar bill, y'all. I'm going to hit you up in a minute, Dollar. Or if you don't hear from me tonight, I'll hit you tomorrow. Perk for life, what's going on? Leo says in Australia, house prices are going up like crazy, and so are the rents. Wow. Said it's a scam worldwide. Man. Mythical said it's a crazy system that taxes us, and we can't what allocate our dollars to go to what actually matters, which are the local issues in your city. Yeah, the rich get richer, man. This thing is set up to where the rich are going to always set themselves up to get richer. You never own nothing in America. You buy your house outright. You spend 30 years paying for your house. Then when you pay your house off, you still got to pay taxes on your house. You don't pay them taxes, they take your house. So how do I own my house? It's a weird place, man. Why not says may their tribe increase. Vince from Texas says, K, who would you want to battle in a versus? The verses are not set up for people like me. Just straight up, I mean, that's for mainstream, like well-known commercial artists who, all this stuff been on the radio. Y'all know these songs. I'm not set up for that, so I couldn't. Because people ask me that question a lot. Because man, I want to put you in the verses against. It's like I can't be in the verses, man. That's like it's not the playing field, not level. I don't have songs that are worldwide known by the masses of the people like that. That's what being in the verses would make sense. Tony Williams says, I think you summed it up the best in your song, Grand Deception. Man, I appreciate it, Tony. Caesar, the experiment. Michael says, mind controlling on voting ordeal. Man, look, if America is not just in ruins by the time the next election comes, because after rate is going, we don't know where this thing gonna be. If America ain't just already out of there, we gonna be going through the same thing in 3 years when two more candidates come up. Same thing. And what's funny is how it'll be somebody nobody even knows, and they'll get thrusted into the conversation. And next thing you know, we arguing about those people like we've been knowing them all our life. Connie says, makes no sense, K-Rino. They died for all their rights, not just to vote. Yeah. Phantom Face says, I bought my mansion flat out. Yeah, I pay property taxes annually. But if all they want are these little paper documents, cool. Documentation over conversation. Absolutely. I'm just speaking on the concept of if somehow, God forbid, a man or family is not able, you hit hard times and you're not able to keep up on them taxes, and you done paid this house all right, they're gonna take that house. And it's the most ridiculous thing. I don't know the laws. I wish somebody, okay, I know Leo is in Australia. I wish anybody else who may be outside the United States, could y'all tell me what the law, do they do that in other countries? What is the rule? What is the law on it if you own your home in Germany, in South Africa, in Sweden, in the UK, in Saudi Arabia? I'm like, what is the law on that? Do they still charge you property taxes on property and that you own? because this, I know in the United States why they do it. It's a money grab, and it's a setup to be able to take your home at some point if you are not able to keep the taxes up. Canada, let me know. Said if you're Canadian, you can't even really own your house. So they do the same thing in Canada? I'm gonna ask my homie Tragic how they get down. EVM says, I responded with it might make me tired, but it's just like him playing soccer. Being a parent is what I love to do. I don't want money. I want a community. Okay. Waylon Perez says natives were slaughtering each other too. Your people invaded this. Yeah, people invaded this land, but all the bad things that took place, but because of their actions back then, created the best country. I couldn't disagree with you more. I've seen many times where people will say that people would justify slavery because it made America a great country. People would justify slaughtering of the Native Americans because it made America what it is today. What is America today? What is it? What is America that's so amazing and so great? Now, maybe for certain people, that reality might be amazing and it's worth it. But if the mindset is that um, establishing and building a great nation for some people is a good thing, even at the expense of the murder and slaughter and the exploitation, the manipulation, and the thievery of other people, then how did that concept make sense to you morally? So all the good thing, all the terrible things, they it's all right because look what America became. America became that because of the terrible things. That don't make it right. And in any civilization, there's been um, upheaval within the civilization. So yeah, I'm sure that there were Native Americans that fought and killed before the white man came to these shores. I'm sure that there were other tribes in Africa that fought and killed and went to war. I know this. All these things that don't justify somebody else coming in and doing it and doing it times 20. That ain't right. So so when you say because of their actions best back then created the best country in the world, nah, I would disagree that America's the best country in the world. Did America become powerful? Yep. But sometimes it ain't about what you became, is how you became that. So if we just want to bask in the result, that's like somebody saying, that's like somebody who just stole a lot of money. Somebody went and this was robbing banks, or somebody was uh scamming like Bernie Madoff or something, and they were able to just scam people out of millions and millions of dollars, right? Just over periods of time, they were able to scam people out of millions and millions of dollars. And those people who they scammed out of all that money, those people suffered. Those people took a L financially. Their family, they lost property, they lost their homes, all these different things. But the people who did the scamming, they established their life and their families with generational wealth. And then they say, well, because of what we did to those people, but now look how we live. It was all worth it. Nah, man. That sound right? Do that make sense to y'all? Nah. See, this is the mindset of America, though. America, like, we don't care who we gotta kill. We don't care who we gotta steal from. We don't care who we gotta rob. We don't care who we gotta pillage. We don't care who we gotta go to war with to take their resources. We don't care about none of that. As long as we get it and feed America, which in reality, even those who may say, look at the great country that we became, a lot of y'all ain't benefiting from that. The rich are, the elites are. But what you looking at? You looking at the buildings? When you say it made us the great country, how is your bank account looking? That's not a concept. That's not a way of thinking that we should subscribe to. That is that because it benefits us. Destruction and murder and robbing and killing and raping. Oh, it's all good. Somebody told me one time I was having this same conversation, and somebody gonna say, "Well, man, sometimes you gotta crack some eggs to make an omelet." Yeah, but what if you was the egg that was getting cracked? See, when you ain't the egg that was ever getting cracked, that's easy for you to say. See, that is a sociopathic mindset. You don't have no feeling for the people that are being utterly destroyed by your actions. Long as it made my situation better. See? That's a terrible way to think. Let me see. Yeah, unless I gotta figure that out. I do all this stuff myself. I'm not as computer savvy as a lot of people, so I just kind of go with the flow. And it's not a lot of people that come in here, so I don't really trip on moderators because, like, I mainly think of moderators in the form of making sure trolls and stuff, you know. But I know there are other purposes. Chris Dale says, where you want to live, maybe I can get you there. Where do I want to live? I live where I want to live. What are you saying if you're asking me that question? See? What are you saying? I'll wait because you may not be asking me that question. Or maybe you are, but I'll wait to see. Bondi Leo says, in Australia, you have to pay for 2 houses before you have yours. What you mean? What do you mean you have to pay for 2 houses? Massini Choice says, over here, the crown owns all property, even if you bought a home. Okay, so where are you in the UK? So you say if the crown owns all the property, does that come with paying taxes on it after you own it? Or that it's just basically saying, yeah, you paid for it, but we still have the right of ownership to where if we want to come in and decide we don't want you to have it no more. Cash Blast says all taxes can be challenged in court. It's a jurisdictional matter. There's no law forcing you to pay. How many people have won those battles though? Because I hear people say that a lot of times, but I never hear about people who said, you know what, I own my home. I ain't paying these property taxes. I'm not doing it. Then they start sending those foreclosures. How many people ever won that battle? Or was it a case, if that is the case, they just didn't know what you're saying? They didn't know that law. I'm gonna check my email when I get off, Alyssa. Appreciate that, Caesar. You like that canvas? I appreciate that. Mythical says, do you believe in the philosophy of Malcolm X? Did you believe in his plight and mission? Absolutely. When Malcolm was under the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, see, you got to understand, when you say that I believe in the philosophy of Malcolm X, the philosophy of Malcolm X was the philosophy of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. Make no mistake about it. It ain't no Malcolm X without Elijah Muhammad. So we have a situation where a lot of people, they'll express their love for Malcolm, which is cool, absolutely. But sometimes they'll have a problem with the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. When everything that any of the speeches you heard Malcolm giving, you can go to YouTube right now, you can go pull up clips and read stuff. Everything that came out of Malcolm X's mouth was taught to him by the most honorable Elijah Muhammad. So to answer your question, yeah, I believed in the philosophies of Malcolm X, or what Malcolm X taught, because he was teaching what was taught. He was teaching the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And definitely his plight and his mission, because his plight and his mission, his plight is our plight. Even those of us who weren't born. So yeah. Want to make sure I didn't miss any of y'all's posts. Okay, Canada, along with Australia, have the highest housing problem in the world. Okay. Phantom Phantom Face says, I think it's bull how some bills are perpetual. Yeah, you never pay your light bill off. Man, I got 3 more light bills to pay, man. I'll be to pay these lights off. Nah, that ain't how it works. Caesar says, Mother Nature to polytheists, to monotheists process they went through in some people's theoretical opinion. Who are you talking about? Okay. Wow. Why I keep ending up in the same spot? Oh, you saying, Chris, if America's not that great, where you want to be? Well, see, it ain't that simple, because that's a common uh, statement that people like to make when you criticize America. See, this is America's not above criticism, bro. I can live here and be critical of the actions of America. I can't be held in a box where I gotta put tape over my mouth because I have a issue with the land that I live in and how it's ran and how it's governed. That ain't how it works. So it ain't a matter of saying, well, if America's not so great, where you want to live. First of all, the earth is my turf, but I want America to get right with the people that it built itself on the backs of. It ain't that easy. We got blood, sweat, and tears in this. See, we native to the whole earth. So at the end of the day, it ain't about no if you don't like it, you can leave. No. I can criticize where I work. I may not like the policies of how the workplace operates. I can criticize where I live. I can criticize an apartment complex. Oh man, they don't never fix nothing over here. They don't clean up. They don't take the trash out. But every citizen, see, think about this. Now you talk about America, and somebody mentioned the First Amendment earlier. There are parts in the Constitution that gives the citizens the right to challenge and check the governing powers of this nation if they are not doing right by the citizens. Did you know that? So it ain't that easy to talk about, well, if you don't like it, you can go for that's old school. That's lightweight. We're beyond the acceptance and the tolerance of injustice and mistreatment. We just gotta take it. Or go live in Cambodia or something. Nah, I live right here. Live right here and tell America about themselves when America out of pocket. I got that right. And guess what? It ain't because of the laws of America gave me that right. That's a God-given right. So you telling me that would make me ask the question. So in your time in America, have you been 100% satisfied with everything, every policy, every law, every movement that the United States of American government has cast down? Have you been in agreement with every single thing that they've done? I'm just asking the question. So you ain't gonna check me, homeboy. I'm not checking you. You on a computer somewhere, wherever you are. But guess what? Like I said, America is not above criticism. You can be criticized. I can criticize you. You're not above criticism. But all of that, you ain't answered the question. The question is, have you been satisfied with everything that the United States of America has cast down since you've been living this? Has there ever been a time where you went, man, this is messed up? Or was you smiling and grinning at every single thing that America sent down the pipeline? I want to see how honest you are. I want to see how honest you are. I don't know you personally, but I want to see if you an honest person. Okay, so your answer is no. So when I appreciate the no, appreciate the honesty. So if the answer is no, did you complain either mentally or have you ever said to somebody, man, this is messed up. Man, these people out here, you see this? Do you see what they doing now? They finna raise the price. You see how high food is? You ain't never complained about food prices. See, think about that. So you're telling me you've never been critical of your own nation that you live in? So don't tell me, ask me where I want to go live. I'm living right here. And if they don't get it right, guess what? It's gonna get right because they on the way out anyway. God already cleaning this up. This system is already being transitioned out. Because we living under a regime that operates like lunatics. tried not to say it. Right. So you say all day. So my point is, why would you ask me that question? If you yourself have been critical of the nation that you live in, so you hear me being critical and you're gonna tell me, you're gonna come at me um like um like like somebody say, well, where do you want to live? What you mean? I got more right to be here than the people that run the country. I could go into the details of that, but I ain't got time to do all that. The earth is my turf. Figure that out. We can't reiterate those talking points, especially to each other. When you know oppression has been suffered, when you know that injustice has been carried out, we know this. It's in the history. This is documented. America ain't above getting checked. They need to be checked, and they gonna get checked. They getting checked. My little boy say, "Hey, I'm just a little dude that makes some rap records." But America is gonna be destroyed. And those who wanna hug and hold on to it, hug and hold on to it. And you'll be just like when the Titanic went down. Yep. Weedor 76 says complaining about a problem without proposing a solution is called whining. Not all the time. That's not true. Because people can complain about a problem and they may not have the answer to what the solution is. See, your thinking got to be more rounded than just repeating a quote that you heard somebody say. That's all you did. There are people who lament. They complain, they cry out because of the conditions, but they don't necessarily have the solution. Now, if you've never asked me what I think the solution is, then I would hope that you were not applying that statement to me. Because if you've never asked me, well, what's you complaining about it? What's your solution? Then I go, I don't know. Which, if that was what my solution, what my answer would be, that would be fine if it was the truth. But at the end of the day, that's not true. You can complain all day long. That's like when people say, that's the same thing like when people say, well, if you don't vote, you don't have a right to complain. That's not true. Because you didn't ask me why I didn't vote. So if I say, nah, man, I ain't voting for that. Well, when things start going wrong, you can't complain. Why I can't complain? Because I don't believe in none of it. That's why I didn't vote. So I can express my displeasure with how things are operating. Y'all better quit repeating stuff y'all hear people say and think for yourself. Think for yourself. Getting caught up in that nonsense. Holding on to a nation that's like a patient on their deathbed. America is in hospice. America is in hospice. The hospital don't even got, the hospital don't say, hey man, send them off to die. That's where this country is. And only those who either are blinded to what's going on around them, only those who have no comprehension, no knowledge of, or no belief in scripture And only those who are foolish enough to believe that America is in the right with all the moves they make, those are the only people who can't see that. If you can't look at how this nation is just collapsing, every little piece of it, every aspect of it just crumbling, coming apart at the seams, and you don't see it, shh, I feel sorry for you. But that's where we at. So hold on, hang on to it. Hold on to it. We got the solution. There is a solution. There's a solution for us, and there's a solution for America. But the problem is, does the United States government, do they have the humility to fall into pocket with the solution that could save America? Well, in my opinion, just looking at the people who run it, I'm like, them chances are slim. Slimmer than an anorexic crackhead. But hey, to each his own. To each his own. I appreciate the question that led to that dialogue. Chris Dell. BGN, I see you. That's right, Cass Blast. The earth is our turf, man. This belonged to me and us. BGN says you've been talking about this for years. Crazy that we live in that. I've been repeating what I hear the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. I've been repeating what I hear the Honorable Mr. Louis Farrakhan said. It ain't me. I ain't gonna take credit for what the men of God have been teaching. It's just about what we don't follow, what we ain't been doing right. Us. My goal has always been, okay, I hear what those men say. I'm gonna use what God gave me to write about it, and hopefully it'll spread the word that they taught. So when it's unfolding, it's a bearing of witness to what the minister is teaching and what the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught in his teaching. I stand on that. Shout out to the homie BGN. Jada Flow says, one man can't fix it all, man. I've seen hundreds of men and women try to fix things, and that's not enough. Well, I mean, I don't ever recall saying that one man could fix it all. Because you're right. You know, one man can't fix it all. But that's one of the reasons why the Honorable Elijah Muhammad said our unity is stronger than an atomic bomb. We have to all get in and make a difference and do what's right in order to affect change in a positive way for the benefit of us all. So, but to slightly disagree with the second part of your statement, strength ain't always in numbers either. God through history has always taken a little and made that little to defeat many. God sent Moses to Pharaoh by himself. See, he always sends prophets like one deep. Every now and then, Moses would like, hey, I need a helper. He sent Aaron. He gave him Aaron. Abraham had Lot, but for the most part, God always he sent his people, he sent his guys one deep. Because he knows that him being God, hey, I'm backing you, so you good. You ain't got to worry about it. Go on, tell him what I told him. Tell him what I told you to tell him. Tell him I said let my people go. Tell the biggest, baddest government in the world what I said to say. And when those men of God did that, God kept his promise and he backed them. So the strength ain't always in numbers. The strength is in the belief, in the faith, in the power that's backing them. That's what it all boiled down to. And yeah, and even though we may not be able to fix it all, we supposed to work and try like a dog as if we can. A long time ago, I'm gonna give you an example. Just an analogy, a little comparison. A long time ago, we put out a group album, right? And it was 10 of us. It's an album we made called Personal Vendetta. It was like 10 of us, the South Park Coalition, we put this album out, right? And I told everybody, me and the other 9 of us, I said, look, man, when the album was done, I said, look, I say, if we push and promote and work this album as a collective, as if this album was each of our individual solo albums, if we put that mindset and effort behind it, we'll blow this album up. But if we take the approach that, well, it's 10 of us, so I ain't really got to go as hard because it's 9 other of us that's going, doing their thing. So if we all take that approach, then we won't get much out of it. But if you were the only one on that project, if you was on all those songs yourself, and that was just your face on that cover, you'd be pushing the hell out that album because you would have more grind associated to it being yours. We got to flip that thinking to think like that for the whole. The whole is still yours as an individual. You're going to still benefit as an individual from the whole, but you have to be part of the whole. And shout out to BGN. That's why I asked the man, I said, look, I mean, are you asking me? Because you can't make the assumption that I'm talking about problems without offering solutions. You don't listen to my music. You just passed through casually and heard what I was talking about. But I didn't even defend that because I don't have to. Alyssa says, for real, people don't know there's a difference between everybody always says and everybody knows. Yeah. Jada Flo says, try volunteering. You'll quickly learn how hard it is for a passionate group of people to fix everything, all the while being judged by none. You can't worry about that, Jay. You just do the work. We can never get out and do the work worrying about what other people are not doing, what other people are not helping and participating with, what other people are thinking and how they're judging the work. It's going to always be somebody who is going to look from the outside in and think that y'all stupid for what y'all doing. Man, it's crazy. Y'all wasting y'all time. This ain't going to never work. It's always going to be somebody that's actually doing the work, but they not going hard. They're not doing it for the right reasons. They're doing it for vanity. They're doing it to be seen. They're doing it to try to elevate in a position. They're doing it for a photo op. It's going to always, but whatever is in your heart to do, you just be found doing that. Just do it. Just you do you. If it could be 20 people in the organization, we don't know. You don't know the hearts and minds of the other 19. But if you know the heart and mind of you, and you're like, man, I'm in this for real. I'm getting down. You do that. You don't let lack of effort or an unpure mindset from somebody else. You don't let that discourage your efforts. You do the work. You do the work. And to my experience, I ain't talking like I'm some big time activist or some big time community transformer. Now, I'm not saying that, but I've been in a lot of situations. I work with a lot of different groups and organizations and things of that nature. Just to my knowledge and to my experience, man, when you're really sincere and passionate about it, God will send you the people that you need that's going to be in that like mind with you. And again, it ain't about the numbers. It ain't about him sending you 5,000 people. Sometime, man, you got 2 or 3 just real ones, you could do some damage, good damage. So don't let that, especially the part where you said all the while about being judged by non-help. You just said if they are non-helper, what do you care what they think? Why do you care what they think? They ain't helping. They ain't helping no way. See? Stay on the grind, bro. That's all you got to do. Skylar, what's going on? Ethan, 38 trillion in debt. They ain't coming out of that. America ain't coming out of that, bro. You are deluded, not you, because you don't want to bring it. I'm just saying in general. We are delusional if we believe that some president is going to pull the United States of America out of $38 trillion, out of a $38 trillion deficit. Not gonna happen, bro. Not gonna happen. See? 74 Red is in the building. Greer said they need to stop printing money out of nowhere. It's been a problem. They don't have a solution to their problem. Which goes back to the person that says, if you're complaining about a problem without a solution, you whining. I would ask you, would you agree when we say that that is a problem in the United States? if you're still on here. And if you do agree, you tell me what the solution is. I'm just humoring you, to be honest with you. Look, I'm going back to the homie Jada Flow. Think about all of the great men that ever came down the pipe. From prophets to Martin Luther King to whoever you want to name, Harriet Tubman. There was always pushback. And the pushback didn't just come from the powers of the world at that time, the governments and the rulers of the world at that time. The pushback came from the very people they was trying to save in a lot of cases. Look at Harriet Tubman. What was Harriet Tubman's famous quote? She said something along the line. She said, I freed hundreds of slaves. She said, I could have freed hundreds more if they would have just knew that they were slaves. She had pushback from the same people she was trying to save. Look at the prophets. There's a saying that say a prophet has no honor in his own land. Why does it say a prophet has no honor in his own land? Because it means that the people was rejecting him. They wouldn't fit in him. They was going against him. They was laughing at him. How long did Noah preach about the flood coming? Anybody know? How long did Noah preach about the flood coming? How long was he warning that the flood was coming? He warned about the flood coming so long that people they was thinking he was crazy. They were laughing at him. See? Jesus had pushback. Moses had pushback. Moses got the children of Israel out of Egypt. He showed them, like, look. He did everything he said he was going to do. Got them out of there. And they were still giving him problems. Man, you done got us out of here. They was talking about, man, we ought to go on back, man. You know how it always is going to be some Negroes like that. Man, we need to go back, man. Moses got us out of here, man. We need to go back. So, Jay, it's going to always be pushback, bro. To me, that's one of the signs that you on the right road. When you start getting the opposition, when the friction come, and you know you doing the right thing, man, you got to go harder. You got to go harder, man. Axiom Blur says Japan and China are going to recall those debts, but they would do it in such a way the U.S. will not fall quick, cannot recover total debt. I don't know. Regional Sky Girl is in the building. 30. See, that puts it in a perspective that makes you understand. Now, she just literally wrote out the number $38 trillion. Just the actual number. So you got a 38 and 3, 6, 9, 12 zeros following a 38. That's 38 trillion. Look how long that number is, bro. Who coming out of that? Ain't nobody coming out of that. You can knock $8 trillion off of that somehow, which they won't. You can knock, I want to ask a question. And this is an honest question. I do not know the answer to this question. Sometimes I ask questions and I actually know the answer. I just want to see what y'all gonna say. I do not know the answer to this question. Has there been any president since the initiation, since the beginning of the national debt, has there been any president who in his term reduced the debt? Because there was a time where the debt was very low by debt standards. Has it ever been a time where there's a president, well, man, the debt is at 18 billion, and then by the time he had been in there a little while, well, it's down to 16 billion. Now, has anybody ever knocked that number down? I ain't saying they didn't. I'm asking the question. I don't know. I'm just trying to see, because I know of a time where the debt was nowhere close to 38 trillion. I've been around long enough to know, to remember that. So in my eyes, that bad boy just, it's up. Like they say, it's up and it's stuck. Matter of fact, it ain't stuck, it's still going up. Grady, baby, I see you. Evacuate from the Nemesis product. I appreciate that, 74 Red. Andrew Jackson. Whew, that was in the 18. When was Jackson president? 18 in the 1830s, 20s? I really mean the modern time. Yeah, exactly. 1830s. I should have rephrased that. I mean more so in the next century. Marto says, if they print money, who do they actually owe 38 trillion to? Well, they print money that has no value. It's just paper at this point. I got a song called Dead Money that's gonna be on my new album, y'all. It's a little deeper than that. But these Federal Reserve notes that we carry around, they have no value to it. And the dollar, the US dollar, is in such free fall, and around the world, other nations, they falling back on the dollar. Bill Clinton. Okay. I'll just ask the question. I'm not an expert on this stuff at all. I don't want y'all to think I'm talking like I'm an expert on this stuff. But one thing I know is we've watched it grow. Why not says the saddest part is if the politicians cared about the people, not just a few, but all the politicians together, we could have even better lives. Well, yeah, that's a real sweet, flowery dream. It's a beautiful concept. But this country is not These men hearts are not set up like that. Yeah. Hey man, drop y'all locations, man. I've been on here a long time. Drop y'all locations. Hazmatic, I see you. Michelle Wood says, "Here comes digital ID eliminating cash to fix their debts. The penny's already gone." Yeah, they done ran. They I saw that the other day. They've been ran the penny out the game. They done ran the penny out the game. Axiom is in Australia. XR33 is in Salt Lake City, Utah. Okay, I had to put that together. Grizz is in Vancouver, Canada. 74 Red, New Zealand. Phantom Face, Columbus, Most Hated. Azazel, South Jamaica, Queens, New York City. Grady Baby is in Atlanta, Georgia. Hazmatic, you in Salt Lake City too? Jada Flow is in New York. Thanks sincerely for your words, brother. I hope to get the. Oh man, man. I appreciate you, bro. Come on now. I might be coming to New York soon. Got to see how things line up. The most censored DJ, Denver Harbor, H-Town. Check your email. Thanks for the reminder. Massini Choice, bless the Lord. Connie is in the 619, a.k.a. San Diego. Yeah. Alberto, Third Ward. With Michael Butte, Beaumont, Texas. About to walk in the Waffle House. Don't eat no pork, man. Don't eat no bacon, no sausage. I'm just playing with you. I know you don't eat that stuff. Phantom Face says, "See, just like a team is only as strong as its weakest link, currency is only as valuable as its smallest increment." Wow. BGN, I'm in another universe with one of your split personalities. It's all good, man. Wow. Terrence Miller, what's going on? What's my thoughts on rap fatigue? I've been hearing a lot of people talk about rap fatigue, rap fatigue. Man, look, man, I'm not gonna judge how people are. I'm not gonna judge rap music based on the fact that it's lack of appearances on these charts. I'm not gonna overreact. This is the first time in such and such years that a rap song hasn't been on the. So what? So what? You got all these people still riding around. Everywhere I go, I hear people playing rap music. What is their definition of rap fatigue? Who are they applying that to? They're saying who? The fans are fatigued? Or I mean, I would have to know the full details of what they even mean by that term. But because rap is not on the charts for the first time in so many years, and I guarantee you, go to the club, they playing some rap music. Ride down the street, somebody gonna pull up to you at a light playing some rap music. People have their different styles that they like. Turn on the radio, they're gonna be playing rap music. People jamming rap music on the internet. People recording rap music. People releasing rap records. Go on people's Spotify subscription. They got a bunch of rap music on their playlist. Go to their playlist. What is rap fatigue? What is that? I don't know what it is. Whack rap fatigue. People tired of hearing this whack stuff out here. Vincent is in Hawaii. Asthmatic. My question is, why do people buy pets just to lock them up? Yeah, that's kind of messed up. I hate when people do that. You get a pet just to mistreat them. Ateroa. What's going on? I'm trying to pronounce that. Waylon Perez, I represent your music here in Minneapolis. Much respect, Waylon. The home of Prince. 74 Red, Big Palmy North. Anymore. Ghostface got a new album out. That's what I'm saying. It's still that. What's the definition? I may be having a bad definition of what they saying is rap. I've been seeing this lately. Rap fatigue. What does it mean? I know what fatigue means. I know what rap is, but how are they putting that together? Because I see rappers still putting out albums that's getting high praise, great critical acclaim. So don't get fooled by these rigged up charts, man. Don't get fooled by that. Don't judge by that. Are they saying that the industry is suffering rap fatigue? I'm trying to put it together. Are the powers that be starting to say, hey, man, we tired of this rap stuff. We're going to start weeding it out of our networks and our, I mean, is that what it means? I'm trying to cover all angles before I pass judgment. And even if that's the case, so what? Cool. Give it back to us then. Which they not going to do because they still make a bunch of money out. Don't let them, it ain't no money fatigue. Look at all these different albums coming out. Mobb Deep came out. Who y'all just said? Ghostface just came out. Axiom says, thank you so much for paying respect to Chino XL. Man, I love Chino, man. What a cool dude. I'm so honored that I knew him. Man, what a cool dude. De La Soul just dropped. See? All the old schoolers still know how to get down. So I don't know what they're talking about. And BGN, you just hit the nail on the head. Buy physical copies. So glad y'all said that. Last commercial before we go, because I know a few new people have slipped in, but y'all coming in at the end because I'm getting ready to go. Go order the new comic book. This is the bundle box. The comic book comes in this box. You get the comic book. You get the coloring book. You get a T-shirt, poster, Annihilation of the Evil Machine. That's the new comic book. It's available. I'm trying to make this thing be straight up. I don't know why I'm crooked. It comes in this box, but you can buy the parts separately. You don't have to buy the whole box, but if you want everything, you got to get the whole box. We just dropped a new comic book. I saw Dollar Bill was in here earlier. That's the website to get the comic book. Y'all go subscribe to the Underground Dialogue podcast. Go check out the latest episode just dropped Wednesday with Raw LT. It's y'all homework. And if y'all want to get on the mailing list to purchase my new project when I come out, that's my email. Send me an email right now. So that's y'all 3 homework assignments right there. All right, man. Let me get out of here, man. I will catch y'all later on. Peace in Murray's Grease. All right.